This one will be different than the usual project-based videos I do. I want to share some info if you want to start or try woodworking with hand tools, but you don't have space, budget, big machines and whatever else is needed for a woodworking shop. I'm doing woodworking project mostly for me. I find the process of making something very relaxing. Working with your hands and creating something physical is very rewarding. Okay, let's get to the video. First subject. What tools do you need to get started? These tools are in my opinion a good start, and you can do a lot of different projects. The tools that I'm going to talk about, I think they are around 500, 600 euros, 700, 800 US dollars I think. You can buy even cheaper ones, but don't buy the cheapest, they will give you a headache and ruin your projects. I will list the tools in the video description down below. Okay, so let's start. You will need a marking knife. I use this Veritas one. I am right-handed, so the flat face is on the left, so be aware of that when you buy one. Then you will need a marking gouge. One is good, 2, 3, even better. I have an older model and a newer one from Veritas. Besides being great useful tools, I think they are also very beautiful. For marking, I like using a mechanical pencil. This has a lead of 0.5. A 0.7 would be probably better. Okay, next tool, squares. You will need your lines to be perpendicular so your work is precise. This one is the newest and it was quite expensive, around 60 euros, but you don't need it if you're just starting. A better option is this combination square. I bought it first and I still use it, but for small pieces, the little squares are more convenient. One side note, if you're going for the combination square, check to see how square it is when you buy it. Take a piece of paper, draw a line, turn the ruler and take a parallel line. The two lines should be parallel. If they are not, then you need to file a little here or here. Back to the tools. Get some chisels of different sizes. I mostly use these Narex ones, I prefer the Western ones. Next tool is a low angle jack plane. This one was one of my first hand planes. It is called Juma, and I think the same tool you can find under the name Luban. It's a great plane. This and a block plane is all you need to begin. I made so many things with this tool. I have Veritas tools and Lie-Nielsen tools, and I can tell you that the quality of these Chinese tools for the price is impressive. Rosewood handles, bronze cap, well machined, the sole is dead flat, great value for the money. You will need a block plane. I also bought at the beginning this Juma low angle rabbet block plane so that I can use it for the rabbets as well. The blade is exposed so you can take shavings right against the shoulder of the piece. Great little tool, and it takes shavings so fine that I even use it as a smoothing plane. When it comes to saw, I prefer the Japanese ones. They cut wood like butter. This one is called the Ryoba, and it has two cutting sides, one for long grain and the other for cross grain. And if you're gonna do joinery, a Dozuki saw will be very helpful. Last but not least, and this one is very important, sharpening. Sharp tools are a pleasure and they are safer. I have tried different stuff over the years, but now I'm just using two Japanese water stones, a 1000 grit and a 12,000 grit. See my sharpening video if you want. The two stones idea I got from Rob Kosman. Go check his videos, he is doing woodworking at the highest level. Also for sharpening I use this Veritas honing guide. I also have cheap Eclipse inspired honing guides. I did manage to ruin some blades by skewing them in the past. I would recommend the Veritas, but if you don't have the budget, especially when you're getting started, the cheaper Eclipse inspired honing guides are an acceptable alternative. So these are the tools that I think they are great for starting woodworking, and also don't forget to have around you first aid bandages. Small cuts can happen, so you want to slap on a bandage and continue with your work. The next thing is very important and makes all the difference in your woodworking process, and that is how you hold your piece. After you have a few tools, the first project, I think it should be a workbench. I made until now 3 workbenches, 2 normal ones and this small one, which is actually a bench. Check my video to see more details about this workbench. But I can hear you ask, don't I need a workbench to build a workbench? That was my issue also. So I bought first just the top, just the board from a home center, and made a stop, this thing here, placed it on 2 boxes and bought some clamps and made the frame for the workbench. But I cannot emphasize enough how much of a difference it makes to have different ways to hold your work securely. These are the things that will get you started doing woodworking with hand tools. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.